Hi everybody, I'm here to show you how you can set up your PowerPoint file for your All About Me activity so that each of your students know exactly where to go when it's time for them to work on their project. So I've already downloaded the file from Teachers Pay Teachers, the PowerPoint file that the students will use, but I want to create a folder where they're going to go to find the file that I want each individual student to use. So on the desktop, I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to right click and go to New Folder, and I'm going to call it All About Me since that's the name of the project they're working on. I just click anywhere on the desktop and now my folder is ready. You could also create a folder in your documents or in another area of your computer if you don't want to use the desktop. I can take and drag my file right into the folder. I could also have right-clicked and cut it and then pasted it into the folder. I'm going to double-click on my folder to open it up, and now I have the folder where I want my students to come to work on their project. So if all of the students came and they always just clicked on this one file, what tends to happen is that they'll save it at the end, and then the next student will come and they'll go to use this file and it'll have the previous student's information in it, and then they'll type over it and save it again, and you end up losing student work. So in order to have each student with their own file, we're going to take and we're going to click on this file, and we're going to go up here to copy, and then we're going to click paste. And now I have two of the file. I could also click on the file, right click, go down to copy, come right here, right click, and paste. Now I have three of the file. Let's say that I'm working with a small group and I have 5 students in my class. I'm going to go ahead and paste one more. Now I have 4 files, and now I have 5 files. Because I want to have one file for each student in my class. But how will the students know which of these files to click on since they're all named the same thing? So now I'm going to rename the files so that the students will easily know which file they should use. You have a couple different options when you rename them. You could name it the student's name, or if your students are numbered, you could just have the number and then they click on their number and they know that's the file for them to use. So I'm going to go to the first one, and to rename it, I can either click right up here where it says rename, and I can start typing. So I'm going to call this one All About Me, Sarah. And Sarah will know that this is her file to work in. I click off, and it saved it for me. I'm going to go to the next one. Instead of clicking rename up here at the top, I'm just going to click on the words one time, and now I can begin typing. I'm going to call this All About Me, David. Click off, and now David has a file. I'm going to go to the next one, rename. This time I'm going to pretend that I'm just going to use my students' numbers, and this is just going to be student number 1. I could put All About Me 1, or I can just put 1. Click off. It's really quick when you do it with the numbers. I'm going to click this one, rename it 2, click off, student number 1, student number 2, and then I'll do my last one, rename 3, and click off. So it really only takes 5 minutes or less, especially if you're just using their names and their numbers and you have your class list sitting right there. You just go through and add it. This saved a lot of time in the end after students had finished their projects, because then once they're done, all they have to do is click File and Save, and everything's ready. It already has their name or their number, and you know exactly whose project is whose. So when they're ready to go in, once you have this and they come to the folder, all they do is click their name or their number. So let's pretend it's student number 2. They double click, and the file will open for them, and then they're able to get started. I hope that this is helpful for you and your students, and that you enjoy this fun back-to-school activity. Thank you.